Welcome back to the channel, folks. I've just received my copy of D-Day British, so I thought it would be a good time to go through that and have a look at the lists, see how the British might be playing in Normandy. But before we do that, the artwork, the cover work, is reminded me of my own British, so maybe we could have a look at them first just to get us in the mood for what's inside. So here we go, infantry, tanks, coming under fire, moving up a lane with some hedges and such likes. And then here we have, this is something I originally painted for Hell's Highway, but it seems to fit the picture very well. Here we have a firefly which has hit a mine, and engineers trying to clear the way, bailed out tank crew, and then behind them we've got two platoons of infantry. You can see there's like shell craters, knocked out Schwimmwagen, poor motorcyclist, and then a knocked out tank with some bailed out crew there as well, who'd been ushered to the rear. And then company command right at the back. So what you've got here basically is two infantry platoons, company command, and three objective markers, which I've storyboarded. And I'm keen to get these guys in the game, get using them again. So let's see what's in the book. Okay, let's start with the infantry. So there's quite a few lists. You've got the airborne guys who are pretty much what you would expect them to be, except they don't have a 3+ skill check. They've got a 3+ assault but not a 3+ skill check, which might come as a surprise to some people, but I think it's just the British don't seem to have very many 3+ skill checks in the whole book, to be honest. But they do get a hell of a lot of anti-tank guns. You can spend about 40 points on anti-tank gun options in the core list if you want. And then you've got commandos, and to be honest, who's not going to take commandos? You maybe don't take the full list unless you want to play that, but the commandos are just monsters, to be honest. You could take up the company command and two platoons for about 29 points, which would give you a very strong, resilient or attacking infantry force with 71 points to spend on tanks. And typically for a full tank formation you might be paying 50 to 60 points for core platoons, and then you could get support on top of that. You get typhoons, you could get artillery. So commandos, I think we'll see a lot of commandos getting used. So the ordinary infantry, there are two basic types. There's standard infantry companies, rifle company and motor company, and then the Desert Rat equivalent. When you break it down, they are pretty much the same, except Desert Rats are counter-attacking on a 4+, ordinary infantry on a 3+. The ordinary infantry unpin is the same way as the Desert Rat unpins. Ordinary infantry are confident, Desert Rats are reluctant. But you know, that confident motivation will mainly be overridden by the most important thing, which is unpinning, and the war weary rule for the ordinary infantry places them in the same bracket as the Desert Rats on a 5+. So they're more or less the same. The Desert Rats, so you're going to save a point on each platoon. So I think that's your choice. Do I want to save 1 point on my infantry to spend on other things, and then just try and play my game around the fact that they are a little bit harder to use than the ordinary infantry, but you know, still not too bad. Okay, tanks. So, Shermans. There's two basic types of formation. You've got the DD Shermans, and then you've got a standard Sherman squadron. The DD Shermans come in platoons of only 3, but you can have a dedicated firefight platoon within that. You can have up to 4 platoons plus a firefight platoon, plus your company command, so it's quite a lot of tanks. The standard Shermans, they come with a Firefly option within the platoon. That'll be very familiar to you. And then you've got Churchills, my favourite tank, to be honest, especially when they had front armour 13. Look at my face. This face says front armour 11, which is a big disappointment. I loved bullying people, Panzer IVs and Stugs and Pack 40s with Churchill 7s and Crocodiles and such likes, but now they're down to 11. You can still do that to a degree, but it just takes a tiger to come along and say night night or a Panther or an 88. But they are careful now across the board, so that loss in armour protection may well be made up for in the fact that they're going to be taking less hits. So we'll see, but still be playing with the Churchills. Then Cromwells, you've got two basic types of Cromwells. You've got Desert Rats and Recce. Now the Recce have got the Scouts rule, which means you can run around the table and get yourself into position and stay on the ground as long as you're not firing. That can be very, very useful. They don't have any Fireflies, but you can easily bring M10s. They won't have the Scout rule, but you can bring M10s to support you. And then the Desert Rats, well, they're reluctant once again, but they've got the Cautious Not Stupid rule, which means they remount easier. Well, it means they remount the same as an ordinary Cromwell because they are reluctant. This kind of gives them a wee boost, puts them back on the same level as a Recce because they've got protected ammo. Now, and they've got Fireflies in their platoons. Now, looking at the tanks in general, as I said, the Churchills not got quite so much armour on the front, but they're harder to hit, so they'll still be quite survivable. The Cromwells have got protected ammo, which is very useful. So does the Firefly, which is even more useful. Getting your Firefly back in if it's bailed out now on a 3+, that's very good. And then you've got the added range that's in version 4 now for the Firefly of 36 inches. You can use that to your advantage with your anti-tank 14 and really do some damage. So that's the tanks. Your 3 basic British tank types. You've got your supporting stuff as well, you've got your Stuarts, your Crusader anti-aircraft available depending on your list. So for support, we've got all the usual suspects. We've got Typhoons, which are, I hate Typhoons. If I'm a German player, I hate Typhoons. They come in with a tank 5 on your top armour, 5 power 3. It's going to hurt. And I usually don't pay points for any aircraft. Then you've also got Priest as an option, very good option because of firepower 3 once again, where if you're ranged in already, you're hitting, you're re-rolling successful saves against him with a firepower 3, that's really quite good. Then you've got the Centaur, which is an interesting option as well. That's quite a powerful artillery piece, and it's armoured, fully armoured like a tank, so you've got more options with it, so that's a good option. As well as you've got Avrays, and then you've got like Crocs. Now, for me, the jury's out on flamethrowers in version 4. I know you can keep flaming and flaming and flaming, but I've used Crocodiles to flame and flame and flame, gone to ground veterans, and it took them twice as long to kill a platoon as it did an artillery platoon to kill a platoon. So if you need a 6 to hit somebody and they're re-rolling saves, well, it's going to be very hard to get a 6, and it's very easy for them to roll a 3 and then another 3. So for me, the verdict is out yet. I don't really know what to make of them. They're still front armour 11, but the top armour 1, so do I bring them? I used to always bring them. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think Priests will be much better at digging out infantry than flamethrowers of any kind at all. And then you've got your usual support options also within the book, the usual sort of stuff, anti-tank guns and AOP and that kind of stuff. So let's have a look at the bigger picture and how you might want to put a list together. So it's very, very easy to get a 2 formation list out of this at 100 points, let's say. So, I mean, an average tank company at the bottom end, you're maybe talking about 50-ish points for your core platoons, and then you're talking maybe 60 points for the most expensive ones, and then your infantry, you're maybe only talking about between 20 and 30 points for your core. So that could be, depending on where you could push more on one side, more on the other, but you could have 60, 70 points, or rather 70 or 80 points of core formations with 20 points for support, or for getting things like HMG carriers or mortars or such like for your infantry force. So I think you're going to get a hell of a lot of stuff for your points in these lists, a hell of a lot, and it's potentially going to be a really, really good flexible list where you can hold with your infantry, because you're still going to be reluctant. You're still going to be, even if you're reluctant, you're going to be dug in, got to ground, hitting on a 3+ in assault. You know, that's quite nice, or a 2+ if you're a commando. So that's quite good holding. If you can get them in a position, well supported, even though they're reluctant, if you can keep them moving, if you're playing the well, in fact, all of them are reluctant in terms of pinning, apart from the specialist lists. So if you can keep them moving forward with company command, get your tanks in there and support with some good RT, maybe priests and mortars, you're going to do a lot of damage with them, putting down smoke, getting them up, pinning, and then getting in with assault on a 3+. They could be quite good. So I'm quite looking forward to getting the British list together. I really need to have a think about what options I want. If I'm going to use infantry, I probably will try commandos, just because they're quite nasty. And if you're going to get a small force of infantry to back up a force of tanks, then 2+ in assault, veteran, careful, 3+ skill checks. I mean, what's going to go wrong? Apart from rolling the little ones, but I've been there and will be there again. But anyway, there it is, folks. D-Day British. I'm glad I've got it, though having said that, I'm probably going to spend more money now on getting stuff that I don't have. But having said that, I'm still glad I've got it. It'll take me a little bit away from building up all that Eastern Front stuff for my collection as well. So thanks for watching, folks. Hope that was useful for you. Get painting, see what you can do, guys, and get gaming. And I'll see you again on the next one.